My name is Cathy Neptune, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to show you some tips, tools, techniques, and recipes to make your time in the kitchen fun, fast, and fabulous. We have the holidays coming up very shortly, my favorite time of year. And I know you're all going to be dealing with turkey for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. And I'm going to do a turkey loafer, a deconstructed turkey dinner, if you will. And I think it's a great way to minimize making a large turkey dinner if there's just two of you, or you're empty nesters or newlyweds, or you just want to make something for yourself and still have that feel of Thanksgiving. You're going to like this technique. It's something different and it's very easy to do. I started here in our dish, a casserole dish, and I've cooked a turkey tenderloin, and you can buy them much like you can buy a tenderloin of pork. So I roasted that in the oven. I also made a turkey dressing, and I rolled it in a log shape and baked it in some aluminum foil. At the same time I was doing, this is the turkey tenderloin here, and I also sliced up and roasted some potatoes. I put a little olive oil in the pan and seasoned them with salt and pepper, and just roasted them in the oven. They all kind of cook within, I'd say, 20 minutes. So this is what you'd have for a typical Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm assembling it here. I started at one end, and you just alternate the slices. And I'm going to start and do our turkey tenderloin. And you try and slice them all the same size, as well as the potatoes. You know, you can, at the supermarket, kind of eyeball the potatoes and see, try and find them the same size. And you can also just cut them down on the bottom if you wanted to and make them all basically the same size if you think one is too large. And you nestle them in, and you can see how pretty that looks, and it's a complete meal. I also put a little bit of turkey gravy on the bottom, like so, and I'm going to serve some on the side, but just to keep it moist. And it doesn't matter, you can pour some over the top. You can even stick a few more pieces if you have some leftovers. You can put on the side if you'd like. But I'm going to leave it just like that and cover it with foil. And all you're doing here is heating this up in your oven. You can certainly use a single layer pan. This is probably more of a traditional loaf pan. Then you'd have a single layer going down the center too. But this makes a great company dish, and it gives you the feeling of a complete Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm going to put some foil on top of that. I have my oven preheated at 350, and you can certainly do this the night before, get it all assembled and leave it in the refrigerator, and then just preheat it for about 20 minutes or until it's warm. You can even do it in the microwave, of course, without the aluminum foil. Just cover it with some plastic wrap and put it in the microwave for about 8 minutes on medium heat. Has the same effect. This would be a wonderful dinner for, like I said, for two, or if you just wanted some for yourself for Thanksgiving. So we're going to put it in here and heat it up. Excuse my back. And that'll be done very shortly. And we have our wonderful guests back with us, Annie and Angela. Oh, Angela, you have a question, hon?
Yes, I do. You think I could use some of the leftovers from the holiday meal?
Oh, like turkey?
Yeah, turkey.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What I would do, though, with your loaf pan, and you're talking about like sliced turkey breast. Yeah. Line a loaf pan here with some plastic wrap. And then layer half from here down with your stuffing, which is usually very soft and pliable. So stack it up here and make a sharp edge here, and fill in the rest of that with your mashed potatoes that are usually soft. Don't make your potatoes too mushy, because you want your mashed potatoes to have a little bit of substance. So you're going to have your turkey stuffing here, your mashed potatoes on this edge with the plastic underneath, and refrigerate it overnight. And you remove the plastic wrap here, so you have half and half. So you know it's going to fit inside your loaf pan because the potatoes and the stuffing are the same size. And then just slice your turkey breast. I kind of eyeball it, or your dark meat turkey, and slice your potatoes. They should hold together very well. And put a layer like we did, a layer with potatoes, your stuffing, and then your turkey. Line it all up there, and then just keep going, and you have a wonderful same effect with your leftover turkey, potatoes, and stuffing. Very important to do them while they're room temperature because they do kind of solidify when you refrigerate them, but it's a perfect way to use them. And this would be easy to do. Could you do this?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Does that look, so it would be sort of like a meatloaf?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. A deconstructed meatloaf. Or let's call it reconstructed. And great way for leftovers. And if you didn't want to finish something like that, you could use smaller ones and freeze them. They freeze very well. Wrap them very carefully when the turkey's on sale, because you get tired of turkey after a while, And the tenderloin is very, very reasonable and a good buy. And it's healthy too. It's a good way to season up your turkey. If you're doing the tenderloin, season them up like you would a turkey. And roast it in the oven, and it doesn't take long at all, probably 20 to 25 minutes, and you're good to go. So I'm going to take our second course out, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Hi, welcome back. I've just peeled some apples, and we're going to do our butternut squash, roasted butternut squash, and apple soup. And I'm using a blend of apples. I usually like to use the green Granny Smith because they have a little bit more tartness. And then I like to kind of soften that with a sweet Gala. Or you could even use a Golden Delicious. So I'm going to take these, and this is all going in the blender. Now, you don't have to cook the apples. I like the fresh taste of the raw apples. So let's put those in at the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock. Now, don't forget, you can write in, and a lot of you have. Thank you so much with your questions and your suggestions. And I'll be glad to send you the ingredients, the recipe, and the measurements as close as I can. To this, we're going to add, this is the secret ingredient, coconut milk. It gives it a wonderful flavor. So we're going to put in try like half a cup of coconut milk. I'm going to reserve the apple for a second and do that. I'm going to reach over here for my ginger. So we're going to add some of that. And this is crystallized ginger. It's a little different. It's more pungent. It almost has a kind of a hot, sweet flavor to it. So this is all just to taste. So I'm going to start with maybe there's 3, 4, 5. Let's do that. I'm going to hold off on the apple until I taste it. Now, here's a great technique. I love roasting vegetables. Squash has a lot of sweetness, and roasting it in the oven adds to the natural sweetness in your squash. Instead of boiling it and taking out all the flavor, diluting the flavor and the nutrients, try roasting it. I put it in the oven, and this is probably 2.5 to about 2.5 pounds of the butternut squash. And you just cut it in half with the seeds inside, and you have it upside down like so, and you roast it at 375 for about 30 to 40 minutes. Check to see when it's done. You can stick a knife through it when it's really soft. So you want all these little brown bits because that's what gives it a really, really deep flavor. And you're not even going to taste the coconut. If somebody in your family doesn't like coconut, you'd be amazed because you really can't taste it. And look at how beautiful this is. And you could do this if you're serving squash as a side dish to your holiday dinner. Use this technique and then just scoop it all out and put it in a bowl and flavor it up the way you'd like. It's just remarkably easy, and why not go easy if you can. So I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to hope that it blends up. I'm going to do a little pinch of salt to bring out the sweetness. Probably a 1/4 teaspoon. And then stand back because we're going to blend it. Oh, you know what I forgot too? This is an important part. Love the taste of orange zest with any kind of squash. And you're going to be surprised how sweet this is without adding any sugar. I think it has a lot to do with the roasting of the squash and the really strong, intense flavor that you get from it. And also the coconut milk has an inherent sweet flavor to it. And I probably do a good teaspoon of orange zest. And you can never add too much orange, I think. And remember, we have that wonderful ginger in there. That is 1 full carafe of flavor. So I'm going to put the lid on, and we're going to really get this going. And we're just going to mix it down a little bit just to get it going. This color that comes out in this is just amazing. Let's try it again. And once more, just to get it smoothed down. You can do it in smaller batches, but I like doing everything at once. Now, all of these ingredients are cold, so you're going to want to warm this up. You can also add a little bit more coconut milk and stock to loosen it up a little. I like adding coconut milk. I think that adds a lot. Blend that down. There we go. You just want to make sure you get all the ginger mixed into that. Oh, this smells amazing. And this is a great starter soup. It's also very comforting if you know somebody who isn't feeling well or on a diet. There's nothing in here that would be fattening. I'm going to add might as well use the rest of the coconut milk. Get it all in there. It takes a few minutes, but it's worth every bit. And a little bit more chicken stock. Of course, you can have your own homemade chicken stock. I probably end up using 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup, and this is a 13-ounce can of the coconut milk. I'm going to taste it and see if we need any more. That is good. I think maybe a little bit more ginger. You can really taste the orange in there. That's the ginger being chopped up. I think that's good. There we go. That doesn't take long. And then all we're doing to this, everything's pre-cooked except the apples. So we're going to pour this into a serving dish. And again, you could do this the night before and then just put it into the microwave or the oven. Oh, Annie, did you have a question, hon?
Yeah, can I use other types of squash other than butternut?
Oh, that's a good question. I would use, of course, I wouldn't use like a zucchini or a summer squash, but any of the orange squashes, like a delicata, would be good. Um, Acorn squash, Blue Hubbard. I love Blue Hubbard. It's hard to find because you can buy it in pieces, and you can even buy squash that's pre-cut if you wanted to go that route. But be sure that you toast it in the oven first if you use, pre-cut up squash too. But oh, Angela, did you have a question?
Yes, could we serve that cold?
You might.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good idea. I've never thought of that. In the summer, it might be a nice. I'd make it a little thinner if I was serving it as a cold soup. But we have garnishes too. Over here, it looks so pretty. These are toasted sunflower seeds, and I chopped up some pistachios. And you can put that on the top, or you could save the pumpkin seeds and add the pumpkin seeds to it as well. And once I did this, I used toasted croutons made with raisin toast, raisin and cinnamon bread, and put that on the side. But I really like the toasted pistachios and sunflower seeds on top. So I'm going to heat this in the microwave, and when we come back, we're going to check on our turkey loafer, and we're going to do a fun, easy, colorful dessert as well. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. I can't wait to show you a beautiful blended roasted butternut squash and apple soup. Doesn't that look like fall? So pretty, and I have our soup bowl here. And I just warmed it in the microwave until it's hot, like, 5 minutes. And spoon it. You want it a little thick. And this is a perfect first course. And we're going to plate it and garnish the rim with some parsley. And we're going to do one for Angela and one for Annie. And it has the raw apple and, of course, the butternut squash roasted, and some crystallized ginger, which you can find anywhere, and some coconut milk and a little chicken stock. And we're garnishing it with some slices, and I'm going to serve my guests and see if you like it. And there's spoons there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Let me know how fabulous it is. Oh, I almost forgot the garnish too.
Oh.
Put some of the toasted sunflower seeds and chopped pistachios on the top. And we're gonna look at that. That looks good. Boy, if I didn't make that, I'd be impressed.
Oh, looks delicious.
I hope so.
I can taste the orange. It's so good.
Really, it comes through?
Comes
Yeah.
through.
Can you taste a little of the ginger? Ginger is very good for you too.
It's excellent.
It's really good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very good. I'm glad you liked it, because if not, we'd be in trouble. So we're going to put this aside. And another great way to serve this. Can you taste the coconut milk at all?
No.
But it's there.
There.
And instead of the creams, and coconut milk is so good for you too. So give it a try. You can also substitute pears if you wanted to, some sweet pears with the butternut squash soup. It has the same effect to make it sweet. It almost has a sweet flavor to it too. And here's another way to serve it too, is get some of these really cute pumpkins and gourds and hollow them out and do individual servings. Or you can heat the soup when you pour it from the blender, put it in a hollowed out pumpkin, and bake it in the oven. You can pre-warm your soup and put it into the pumpkin and bake it probably about 15 minutes, not too long. You don't want the pumpkin to get too soft. But it makes a beautiful presentation on your holiday table. So give that a try. Now we're going to go right into dessert. And I think this is a fun thing for you to do. It's easy. It's colorful. We're kind of doing an orange night tonight. And I'll show you why. Because we're going to do a pumpkin dip with cinnamon chips. Or in this case, I have ginger snaps. So we're going to put that to the side. And I'm starting out with 1 package of instant pudding. Very important that it's instant vanilla pudding. And instead of the vanilla pudding, I'm using a cheesecake pudding, instant cheesecake, because it gives it a creamier flavor. But you can interchange them. That's what I like about these recipes. You can try different kinds. And instead of a lot of the pumpkin dips that you see call for cream cheese. So this is a way of getting around it. But if you can't find the cream cheese instant pudding, certainly you can use the instant vanilla. And then we have a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, or you can do cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. And this one here I have, don't forget to write in if you want the resources for these different tools and ingredients. But this one has orange zest in it too, which again I love to accompany it. And then we're going to take a whole can of pumpkin, just canned pumpkin, not the pumpkin pie mix. It already has those seasonings in it. So this is just pure packed pumpkin. And you can certainly use your own pumpkin if you want. Remember, we talked about that on a previous show. And if you're doing roasting your own pumpkins, make sure you use what they call sugar pumpkins inside, because that makes a huge difference. So we're going to mix those together, blending in the pumpkin and the instant pudding and the cinnamon. You know what this smells like? Apple pie. So we're going to put that in and just blend it together. What you really want to do is incorporate the instant pudding in there so that it doesn't get lumpy. Get all that out. And then to this, we're going to add our last ingredient. So we only have 4 ingredients in this dip. And that's going to be some whipped topping. 1 container, or 8 ounces, of your favorite whipped topping. In the trash, not on the floor. So this goes into here, and you want to fold it. I'm going to use a spatula with this. How's the soup, guys? Was it good?
It was so good.
Look at, I think it was. Good, you can have dessert. You ate all your soup, and our turkey's just about ready. So this doesn't take long, this whole meal. And make sure your whipped topping is thawed. And we're going to add the whole 8 ounces. This is a fun first course, too, if you just are having, say, you're watching the football game and you want something besides shrimp cocktail or cheese and crackers. This is a great thing to put out with your ginger snaps. You can also make cinnamon chips. You can take pita bread and brush it with a little bit of water and add a cinnamon and sugar mix to it and bake it in the oven until they get crispy. And the cinnamon chips are really good with it. You can buy the little ones that they make, a very thin cookie that they sell at the store that they make cannolis with, or a wafer style cookie. You can't, take your favorite cookie and give it a try, because this is a nice family friendly dip. Everybody loves this. So I'm going to put this into a nice serving bowl. And what I like about this is you can do it all in one bowl and you have plenty of leftovers. You bring this into work the next day. You're going to have a lot of new friends. I'm going to take that. I'm going to put it over here next to all of our little cookies that we're going to use to dip. That is amazing. You can even sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on the top for color. You can put a little, a pumpkin on there so everybody knows what it is. And there's our pumpkin dip with some beautiful ginger snap cookies. I'm going to get our turkey loafer out of the oven. We're going to serve it up with all the accompaniments. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Look at our Thanksgiving feast. We have our turkey loafer, our reconstructed turkey dinner with the roasted potatoes. I don't know if I told you how to roast the potatoes, but I just slice them. At the same time, I'm doing the stuffing and roasting the turkey. You just slice your potatoes and season them really well and with a little bit of olive oil in on a cookie sheet and partially cook them, because when you cook them in the oven, they cook further and finish their cooking. But the rest is all fully cooked and you're just reheating them, but it really gives a nice flavor to your potatoes and your turkey. That is Thanksgiving in a manageable size for you. And don't forget, you can also do it in smaller pans. You can even do individual ones. How elegant would that be for company any time of the year? You don't have to be burdened with a huge turkey and leftovers. We have our wonderful roasted butternut squash and apple soup, and try different variations. This has the ginger and the orange zest, and the coconut milk makes it creamy without making it heavy, a little chicken stock. That freezes very well. Bring it to one of your friends who are down and out and not feeling well. That's a wonderful restorative soup. Very comforting. Of course, what would be Thanksgiving without having your cranberry sauce? So serve it up. I have a little extra of the gravy that you're going to want to serve with your turkey and dressing. And our wonderful pumpkin dip with gingerbreads, ginger snaps rather, or any cookie that you prefer. Thank you all for writing in and asking for the recipes, your suggestions, your wonderful comments and feedback. And I truly hope that you try these recipes for your family and friends. Thank you again for watching, and may the fork be with you.